Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Stephen's Storytime. Now, today in Storytime, I'm going to tell you a very good story, and it's the story of how Batman got his dog. Now, Batman hated dogs ever since he was a child. Now, most people think that Batman's biggest fear is bats. That's a common misconception. He was actually bitten by a dog moments before he got attacked by bats, and that meant that he hated dogs probably more than bats because he thought it was the dog that made the bats scared and attack him. I mean, if he just had a fear of dogs, then he would probably become Dogman, but bats he could deal a bit better with, therefore he dresses up as them. It's not as terrifying a fear. Now, after a few years of roaming the world and training his ninja skills, Batman decided, no, I'm going to take on what I fear the most, bats. Now remember, I did say that's not his biggest fear, but at the time he thought it was. So he went into a bat cave, not the bat cave that you know, it's a different bat cave, a cave actually full of bats in a different location. And he said, hello, and nothing answered. So he thought it was safe, and he was going to go down and see if there was any bats in the cave, because there was no one else there. And he walked down and there was some bats there, and he thought, right, I'm going to throw some stones at them and see what they do, because if I'm going to become Batman, then I need to know how to react if someone throws a stone at me. So he threw some stones and the bats flew away, and he thought, great, I'll do that, I will fly away. And then he turned round and a dog was there, and he thought, fuck. So what he tried to do was fly away, and Batman doesn't have wings. And this is before he became Batman as well. He was still Batman in training, so it was rather stupid to think he could fly, even though he was on the ground with no cape or any gliding equipment. He just started flapping his arms and nothing happened. Although the dog did get kind of freaked out, and the dog ran away. So Batman thought, if I just flap my arms, things are scared of me. So he put on a hockey mask that night. Well, not a hockey mask, it was a mask, but it looked like a hockey mask. And he went out crime fighting. And he basically jumped into someone's back garden and started making noises, because what he thought was happening was there was a woman getting raped, and it turns out it wasn't rape. But he thought it was, so he jumped in and started flapping his arms up and down, up and down, up and down. And the man said, get out of my house, you fucking weirdo. Get him. And Batman was looking about, going, who the fuck's he talking to? And then he heard the growl, and he thought, right, well, I know what to do here. Started flapping his arms even more vigorously, and the dog just kind of looked at its owner and thought, I can't do it. He's got special needs or something. And the guy then went, right, okay, you don't have to do it, but I will. And he kicked him in the face, and Batman fell out the window into a pile of mud, and then walked away slowly, holding his face and his arm, going, ow. Now, he went back to his manor, not the Batcave. It didn't exist, I already said that. And he then said, Alfred, can I have some ice for my face and my shoulder? And he went, yes, okay. I thought, right, great. So he was sitting there with ice on his face and shoulder and arm and stuff where he fell, and he heard a growl again, and he thought, shit, what's this? And he turned round, and it was Alfred being a dick, going, got you. And he's like, that's not funny, Alfred. You know what? I have to train myself to be better with dogs. So they went to the pound the next day, and they got the meanest looking dog that Batman could actually bear himself to face, and it was a wee Dachshund puppy, which, to be fair, it was vicious. It would snap at him all the time, but at least he could handle it. So he thought, right, I'm going to train with this, and he spent the next year just fighting this dog, but only flicking its nose and hitting it with a newspaper, and the dog would go for his ankles and be like, get the fuck away from me. But that's the story of how Batman got a dog, He got rid of it shortly after, and years later he got another dog, which was much better trained because Alfred took care of it. But that has been Storytime with Stephen. Good night.